Ladies and gentlemen, the special one is back. He is back in the Premier League. Yes, Jose Mourinho has been appointed as the new manager of Tottenham Hotspurs until 2023. Yeah, of course, we did the video yesterday, Pochettino sacked, and I mentioned it's Jose Mourinho. You know, the noise around him coming back to the Premier League, it was all there. Obviously, before, it was about whether he was going to replace Unai Emery at Arsenal. Some Arsenal fans were categorically against it, with all their history with Jose. Some of them said he's a winner. You know, we'll take him, you know, water under a bridge. Everything that's gone before. But he has gone to North London, he has. But he's gone to the white side of North London. Tottenham Hotspurs have appointed one of the greatest managers in history. And you know what? I'm fearful. I am actually fearful. As a Man United fan, I'm fearful. Arsenal fans should be fearful. Chelsea fans, maybe not so. Their club looks like they're on the right train, the right direction. But Jose Mourinho, listen, you can't rule this guy out. I'm happy. I'm not a Spurs fan, but I'm happy to see Jose Mourinho back in football and back in the Premier League. The football needs him. He's still in the Champions League this year. Football needs Jose Mourinho. Just for the press conferences and the touchline antics. Listen, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I'm happy to see him back. But as I said, I'm fearful because the guy is a top manager. His first 2 years at Man United, whether they were exactly what we expect in terms of results, that's one thing. But without a shadow of a doubt, they were successful. First year won the Community Shield League Cup and Europa League. The next year got the FA Cup final, finished second. And then Ed Woodward pulled the plug. So this is going to be the most interesting thing. The dynamic between Daniel Levy and Jose Mourinho. So I'm going to read the club statement. Or Daniel Levy's quotes. He said, in Jose, we have one of the most successful managers in football. He has a wealth of experience, can inspire teams, and is a great tactician. He has won honours at every club he has coached. We believe he will bring energy and belief to the dressing room. That's the first thing. Obviously, they've got, what are we in, November, 5, 6 months left of the season. So the season, as I said in the Pochettino video, is very salvageable. There's still a lot to play for. You know, they're out of the League Cup, but in every other competition. No, they're not going to go on and win the Premier League from here. But getting back in the top 4 is not impossible. Getting back into European positions is a given for me. But getting back in the top 4 is not impossible. Of course, there's still a gap to be made up on Chelsea and Leicester. But who says that they're not going to drop enough points? And Spurs ain't going to pick up enough points to get back in this position. And I think with the new stadium and the fact that they've qualified for the Champions League for, what, 4 years in a row or so, getting back in the Champions League for them is imperative. It is imperative because Jose wants money in it. And I would assume that he's actually been promised money, whether it's in January or in the summer, and a certain amount, might have to raise some from player sales, I don't know. But I would assume that he's been promised, that he's been given the remit to spend some money to get the players that he wants in. But getting back in the Champions League is only going to help that. If they're outside the Europa League, the amount of money available will reduce, and possibly, no, I would say the quality of player they can get will reduce. Jose himself brings a level of quality in terms of what kind of players want to come play for him. But the fact that it's Spurs, who are not the biggest club in the world, and if they're not in the Champions League, then reduces a level again. His last 2 jobs haven't ended brilliantly. So he's got a little bit of reputation to rebuild. Not in my eyes. In my eyes, he will still go down. Whatever happens at Spurs, he's still going to go down as one of the greatest managers of all time. Some people maybe don't agree with that. I don't know. So maybe they feel that he has to rebuild his reputation. He may feel he wants to rebuild his reputation, put himself back at the top of club football. You know, if he probably looking, I think the most similar job to what he's got now, to what he's had in the past, is probably the Porto one. You know, underdogs, smaller club in Europe, or granted Porto were the biggest club in Portugal. And he's gonna have to get the best out of players who are not the best in the world. However, Spurs have a lot of quality. Spurs do have a lot of quality. The likes of Ndombele, Kane, Moura, Son, Dele Alli. It's going to be interesting, actually. It's going to be very interesting to see which players who weren't going to stay, Eriksen, Toby, Vertonghen, who are now going to stay because of Jose. It's going to be very, very interesting. Listen, Jose Mourinho's back. Back in the Premier League. Listen, it can only be good. It can only be good for the Premier League. As I said, as a rival, I'm definitely worried. We've got Spurs in a couple of weeks. I think it's the 4th, Wednesday the 4th of December. After we sacked him. What a turnaround it would be. We're above them at the moment. He was sacked. Replaced by Oli. Oli's struggling. And he comes and beats us in his, probably what I think is second or third league game at the time. I think the most important thing for Spurs this year, get back in the Champions League. That's what the aim. Get in the Champions League. Bring some unity back within the dressing room. It's been divided by all accounts. They clearly haven't been playing for the manager. Like that's not even. That's not a shadow of doubt in my mind. They haven't been playing for the manager. Because the levels they've been putting up this year is in stark contrast to what they've been putting up in previous years. So if they even just start playing for the manager again, playing for each other, that alone, look, with the quality in that side, that alone is going to turn results around. So really quickly, what Jose Mourinho said, he hasn't done his press conference yet. That alone will be very interesting, as most of his press conferences are. He says, I'm excited to be joining a club with such a great heritage and such passionate supporters. The quality in both the squad and academy excites me. Working with these players is what has attracted me. Now, obviously, I said this season, I think getting back in the Champions League is the most important thing. But Spurs have been ridiculed and chastised for not winning anything in, you know, their best era, their greatest ever era, with their greatest ever manager, some have said. And some of their best ever players. Jose Mourinho brings trophies. Jose Mourinho, he hasn't gone anywhere since Porto. He hasn't gone anywhere and not won. So he bring, you know, whether the style might not rub everyone up the right way, they might not enjoy it, but the end result, you know, the end justifies the means more often than not. And he always gets trophies. So I think his time at Spurs, it could be short. It's only the contract is 3.5 years. Could be over in 2.5 years. That's Jose Mourinho. Short, sharp shock, quick fix. Keep it moving. Is this somewhere he can see himself for 4, 5, 6 years with Levy's record in spending and his record in developing young players? I don't know. I don't think so. I'll be very surprised if he's here for longer than 2.5 years or past his current contract at the very most. Very, very surprised if he lasts that long for whatever reason. But I think you know, the first 2.5 years, Spurs will win a trophy. Because that's what Jose brings. With any other chaos that might, you know, follow him, or he leaves in a trail of disaster behind, he will bring trophies. And the power of trophies cannot be underestimated. It cannot. As a football fan, as a player, all your 4th place finishes and 5th place finishes and Champions League semis and FA Cup semis and all of that's well and good. But what you truly remember is when you won. When you were at Wembley watching your team lift, or as a player lifting the trophy. When you're in Europe lifting that trophy. Those are the moments that you remember. So, Spurs, enjoy. Enjoy the special one. Some have called him the special once. It may have slipped out my mouth once. But, you know, part of me, I want him to be successful because I rate Jose Mourinho as a manager. But his success is going to be to the detriment of Spurs rivals, which include Man United. So, I wish him part success. You know, win the Champions League when we're not in it. I don't have an issue. Win the league and FA Cup next year, maybe. Because we're going for, you know, bigger trophies, hopefully. But all I know is going to be exciting. It's going to be a journey for Spurs fans. Going to be exciting for us viewers. Because the special one has returned. Guys, make sure you hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you all soon.